think we are live. Cool. Hey everyone, I'm Rachel Ngom. I equip and empower purpose-driven female entrepreneurs to increase their influence, income, and impact using Pinterest. I share my top strategies that have helped me grow my blog from 2,000 viewers per month to 36,000 viewers per month for free with Pinterest. And every week I'm interviewing some of the most inspiring entrepreneurs so you can learn how to build your biz. And you can expect to have fun, and we'll get straight to the point. So today I have the honor of interviewing the gorgeous Jen Casey. Jen is a business strategy coach with a sprinkle of woo-woo. She's the creator of the Soulful Sales Academy and host of the Social Media to Sales podcast. She's helped hundreds of online coaches in the health, wellness, and network marketing field turn their social media into sales and launch their online business. And fun fact is, when she was 4 years old, she saved a train from 2 armed robbers, and they were actors at a Western theme park. All right, so I just introduced yourself, but I'm sure there were some gaps. So tell us a little bit about you and give us a glimpse into your personal life.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. And I didn't tell you this, but I remember following you like back in the day. And I was like, you look so familiar.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I've been a creepy lurker, social media lurker. So yeah, about me, I am a business coach, and I live about 20 minutes outside Midtown Manhattan. Recently moved here, so I'm about to embark on my very first winter of walking everywhere. So a little nervous about that because my body doesn't regulate well to temperature. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, before I became a business coach, I was a health coach, and before I was doing health coaching, I was pursuing a career as a theater actor and vocalist. So, now doing live video and stuff that gets to keep the passion alive of performing, I guess.
How fun is that? So how did you get into entrepreneurship? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, so I was actually going to an acting conservatory in Manhattan, and I wasn't able to work my regular restaurant job. And I also was looking around at all these actors going, there's got to be a better way to do this whole actor thing without literally being a bartender for forever and having to constantly go back and forth between gigs. So I kind of stumbled upon the idea of health coaching and network marketing. And I was like, wait a minute, I could do this. Like, I can create side income to kind of push me through school and not have to worry about the inconsistency of income when you're not working and all that stuff. So that was kind of like, yeah, this could be a thing. And it just kind of grew from there.
So what took you from network marketing to what you're doing now?
So I was doing network marketing for a bit, and I remember saying, I guess kind of in the middle of that journey, to one of the people on my extended team, I was like, I don't want to talk about recipes anymore. Like, I'm really bored. I really don't like health coaching that much. And I just got really frustrated. Like, I didn't want to have to share my story about emotional eating. And it just became not fun to kind of drudge that up every day and have to be like, back on the wagon, on and off. And, it wasn't enjoyable to me anymore. And I think rule of thumb, when you get to the point where people are reaching out to you like, what's the best green I should eat? If you're coaching and your immediate gut response is like, go Google it, you should probably not be in that industry. Because I just didn't have the passion for it anymore. And I also remember saying to my extended team, I was like, I just want to make business training videos. Like, why can't I just do that? They're like, well, that's not how you make money. With network marketing, you just have to like get out there and talk to more people and network and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, ugh, like, that's my least favorite thing to do. So kind of started to see that other people were creating business videos and trainings and monetizing it. And I was like, that's what I want to do. So then I just kind of jumped and took that leap of faith.
That is so awesome. So you're doing business training videos. Tell us like your sweet spot. What's your area of expertise? If you see me bouncing, I'm on my exercise ball.
Oh my God, I want one of those. I was just at a conference this week and everyone was talking about them in the bathroom. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? Tell me what this is.
Do it.
Yeah, so my area of expertise, I would say probably live video. That's where I built a large chunk of my following. Just as soon as it came on Facebook, I was like, yep, I'm all in. And then I feel like maybe my kind of thing that I joke around about is my joke title is that I'm a squirrel tamer. So for people who are hyper creatives, who have squirrel syndrome, who are all over the place, they're like, I have 4,565 ideas. I don't know which one to choose. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. So I'm the details person. I'm like, I got you. Let's take all of that and let's streamline it and make it a little bit more focused. So that's kind of my thing. And even when I was a kid, I was that like detail oriented. I remember playing memory game with like my grandparents and I would win every time. I was like 4 years old. They're like, how does she do it? But I would look at the board. Do you know what memory game is? Where you like flip over the cards and stuff. So you had to like find 2 matching cards. And I had this whole like crazy child. Like I had this whole strategy in my head of like counting cards and which one was where, and I knew the characters. Yeah, so details.
Details. Not me. I need people like you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Well, tell us something that as entrepreneurs, like we should know about creating a business online or making sales online, but we don't. What's something we should be aware of?
Yeah, so it's so funny because I feel like even when I came into entrepreneurship years ago, I really did think it was going to happen overnight. I was like, I have a link. I'm going to be a millionaire. It's going to be great. And then like crickets, right? So I think a lot of times people think it happens overnight. And the other thing is people try to overconsume. So they're downloading all these freebies and they're just trying to do a million different strategies. But end of the day, it's really like it's 20% strategy, 80% mindset. And that's kind of the unsexy truth that your business is only going to grow as far or as fast as you're growing as a person. So I think one thing that I see a lot of entrepreneurs doing, and we all did it, I feel like everybody, it's like, oh, you're reading all these personal development books. And it's like, yeah, I want to change my habits. So we're reading habits books. And I think the industry is a little bit of a broken industry because working on habits is strategy. But the mindset piece really comes down to changing your core identity. So if we don't change our core identity of who we truly believe we are, nothing else is going to change. Mm-hmm. Like all of the other stuff is temporary. So until like your behavior, your thoughts, it's always going to reflect who you believe you are at your core. And you can change that. It's just not through maybe reading a bunch of habit books. So it's like a slightly different, deeper level technique to kind of shifting that with the inner work.
All right. So how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, that's like a whole other topic. But I think one thing that's really powerful to begin with is there's kind of this concept in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which I'm not an expert in, but I'm totally geeking out super hard over it. And it's this idea of most people approach entrepreneurship and making big changes from have, do, be. So how many times people are like, oh, I can't invest in my business or I can't do XYZ because I don't have it yet. So like when I hit this rank or when I get my first client, then I will invest in the program and then I will become the 6-figure earner. But what people don't realize is it's actually the reverse. So first you have to become that person, step into those shoes, change your core identity and start just really changing your mindset, changing your mantras, your affirmations, doing that inner work so that you can have those things. And, so then it's be, do, have. So you start doing those actions. And I actually even noticed in myself, just this past week, I had kind of an aha that many times people are also going in the direction of, I'm scared, I'm just going to take messy action. So they start with the doing, and that can work. But have you ever been to Tony Robbins?
I went to Date with Destiny this past December in UPW. Yeah.
Okay, so UPW, right? Amazing. So when did you walk across the hot coals?
Hell yeah.
Hells yeah. So his whole thing, it's like you're not going to walk across the hot coals if you're not in a state of aligned being.
Yep.
So most people are like, I'm just going to take messy action. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to just like throw spaghetti at the wall. So they're already getting into action without getting into alignment with who am I? Who's the person doing the doing?
Okay.
So yeah, kind of philosophical conversation gets a little tricky. I usually am like, let's get a whiteboard out and map this out. But
so what is like something someone can do today to take action to have more alignment? What do you think?
So for me, I enjoy a good meditation. I have certain incantations. One thing that I took with me big time from Tony Robbins, there's from UPW, he's got that one thing. It's like, now I am the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will create, not destroy. Like that to me, that gets me amped up. Like that got me hardwired to just be in that peak state, to be in that state of I am unstoppable. So I think when you go into doing scary things, it's important to do them no matter what, but to try and shift into that state before you do it.
Okay. Talk to us about incantations, because I think a lot of people have no idea what an incantation is. Only us Tony Robbins people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think some people, they call it, it's like an affirmation where it's like, I am statements, I am powerful, I am unstoppable. It might be, some kind of guided meditation. I think there's a lot of crossover within that. So it might be just the things that you say to yourself that are empowering. And we all have things that we say to ourselves all day, every day. We're just not aware of them. So it's really more about being intentional about the things that you're choosing to say to yourself. So if you're like, I'm always stressed, I'm always late. Why am I always running late? This is so crazy. Oh, I'm stuck again. I have so much to do today. I'm really tired. Like, those are the things that most people will say, and it's reflected in how they are existing throughout the day. So it's like, okay, well, if that's not working for you, if that's not getting you any closer to happiness, financial abundance, great relationships, so it's more about just choose again, choose something else. So it's really about like, what do you want? If you're thinking, oh, I really want to have 6 figures. It's like, I'm so grateful for all of the money that's constantly flowing to me. I'm so happy and grateful for the number of clients that are constantly flooding into my inbox, asking me for my services, who are ready to pay in full, who can't wait to give raving testimonials. So just kind of, riffing on that, I think is always fun, and just kind of finding new things to think that are like, oh yeah, that's closer to what I actually do want.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Talk to us about investing in your business. Have you invested in something like that was scary or you thought was out of reach but paid off?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest investments was when because now, I'm in a good financial place. So I'm like, yeah, let's invest in everything. But I think the scariest investments are when you actually have very little in your bank account. So one of the biggest ones was, I think I had like $2,000 left to my name, which was not a fun time. And I was like, all right, I need to get unstuck, and doing nothing isn't going to help me. So I remember within about a 6-month period, I invested in a $500 life coaching program with Jen Sincero. I decided to upgrade for like an online course. Then I upgraded for the VIP ticket, like literally had no money. And then was like, I'm going to invest another $4,000 in this group coaching program, because I saw that coach was like a few steps ahead of me. And I was just like, she's not like the big guru experts who have like perfectly polished everything. She was like taking Periscope videos, repurposing them, and charging $50 for a 5-day challenge without editing. And I'm like, hold on, that's working? Like, hold on. I need to see the inside of her business and see what that's about. And it was super inspiring. And so I remember that was like the last of my money and then some. And I was just like, I have to do this. I have to take this jump. And I just knew. I had a deep knowing about that. And then within, 4 weeks, I had already signed 2 high-paying clients, because I was sitting on expertise. I was sitting on knowledge for years. I just hadn't packaged it and sold it.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a big shift financially.
Crazy, but it pays off. Like, it was 5 years ago, we were on food stamps, like negative $400 in our bank account. But like, I knew my business was going to work. I just didn't have the right strategy. Mm-hmm. I invested in something at the time, I think it was like $450 a month, which might as well have been like $5,000 a month. Like, we had nothing. And I just had this like gut feeling that this was like what I needed. And what I learned in that, took my following on Facebook from like 0 to over 50,000, and took me to a 6-figure income within 2 years with my network marketing company. And then more recently, like, I decided to hire a business coach, which, was more than our mortgage, but I'm like, I have never been in the red with my business coach. I've always come out ahead. And it's kind of like, when you see that person that's a couple steps ahead of you, like learning from them, holy moly, it just like 10x. Like, oh my God, it's everything. Okay. Let's talk about mindset and challenges. So you've obviously done some pretty incredible things in your business, but as an entrepreneur, what was your biggest struggle when you first started out?
I mean, I remember like 3 days after I signed up with my network marketing company, I didn't know how to use social media. And at that time, I think you probably started, like, it was around 2011.
Yeah, same time.
Yeah. And I remember I was like, well, I don't know how to use social media. And that wasn't really a thing that people did to grow their business. And if you put up before and after pictures of, your body on Facebook, it was like, oh my God, she's putting her body out there. Now it's like, no one thinks twice about it. It's so commonplace. But I remember I didn't know how to use social media. So I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go hang flyers around my college campus. So I printed off these like really, really ugly, like clip art pictures.
I did that too.
Oh, okay, good. I'm not alone. And I hung them everywhere, and I was like on fire. I was like, yes, I'm like growing my business. I'm gonna get so many people who are gonna like rip off these little tabs, and they're gonna reach out to me.
The same thing. Oh my God.
That's hysterical. I love it. Yeah. So like, but it was like I didn't know anything else. And then I had one girl who was like, oh, and I was like 45 minutes away from my college, and she's like, oh, can you come to my house and personal train me? And I was like, well, no, like that's not really how this works. And then the next day I was like walking around just to like see how many people like ripped off the paper. And then like I realized all of the signs were taken down. So like 2 hours of me like hanging these signs, because it wasn't verified with the college or something. So it wasn't allowed to like hang it on their poster boards. I was devastated. So that was my big epic failure, my first attempt at like finding clients and my first epic failure. Yeah. And then, I mean, later on, I remember I've shared this story on social media before, but on April 1st, 2014, I wrote on a piece of paper on my goal sheet that I was going to have $100,000 launch. I watched a video of Brendon Burchard, and he was like, here's how you make $1 million online. And I was like, yeah, I got this. Meanwhile, I was like ignorance on fire, like really on fire. And like everyone was like, well, what's your expertise going to be? What are you going to sell? How are you going to do that? And it's like, I don't know.
Figure it out.
I'm going to do it. It was great. So I got a lot of eye rolls for that as I leveled up. And then leaving health coaching was another big struggle. Like just deciding to like scrap everything, like new website, new branding, new messaging, like just from scratch. So, and like, was it going to work? And would people like it? And like, what would my like health coaching clients think? And like the guilt of leaving them and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Like it took me a couple of months to like fully be like, I'm out, I'm done. So did you have that too?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you're like making those shifts in your business.
Yeah, when you're like kind of reinventing yourself and you're like, well, I had to completely separate both because like my businesses are so different. So I'm still doing like health coaching, but kind of on my own. Mm-hmm. And I started a completely new Facebook page and a new blog, like everything. Wow. So started from scratch, but it worked once, so it's going to work again.
Exactly, right? You're like, I got the system.
Yeah, I got the system down. So, and it's already, like, it's so cool to see my traffic on my new blog. It's literally 3 months old, and I have, like, Pinterest is already bringing me in over 1,000 people a month.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, like, I have pins that have been shared over 1,000 times for my new blog, and I'm like, yes, it's working already. What was your biggest, like, aha moment or breakthrough moment you've had?
This is such a good one. I would have to say it was literally the moment that I watched that Brendon Burchard webinar or whatever it was, that video, and he was like, here, you can create this online course and make it $2,000 and sell it to X amount of people. And then you can have this ebook and make it $27 and sell it to this many people. And then you'll have it. And I'm like, oh. And I just remember like my friends and family, they kind of like eye rolled me. I had a therapist at the time and I told her and she was just like, oh, sweetie, like, how are you going to do that? And I was like, peace, like, I'm done, I'm out. That was the last time I saw her. And, you know, like, I was just like ready to do it. And it just opened my eyes to the possibility of what could actually be created. And I hadn't crunched the numbers really. You know, I was always in the format of a network marketing company, which network marketing can be a great business model, but I just had different passions and different things that like I wanted to create. I want to be the creator. And so that kind of just like opened up everything for me. It was nuts. Yeah. So that was like my biggest aha, I think.
That's awesome. Curious, how many streams of income do you have from like different products, affiliate sales, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So I have my primary thing, which is my group coaching. So Soulful Sales Academy. So that's kind of like the big monster, I guess. And then I also have a mini course. So I get some income from that. I do some one-on-one coaching, high ticket one-on-one, some affiliate marketing stuff. And then I'm in the process of kind of like more so monetizing the podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Those are my
yeah, it's cool. They all add up, like especially the little ones. Like I created an ebook couple months ago. I don't even know, but like the day I sold it, I made $1,000 and it crashed my website. And then I just got, like I literally have people come from Pinterest that buy that ebook every single day. Like I'll wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, I made a couple more sales while I was sleeping. And I just got an email from Amazon too, being like, here's your royalties from Amazon. It's crazy. It's awesome. So cool. Like possibilities, man. It's awesome.
It's like freaking limitless. It's amazing.
Yeah. What's one trait or habit you think every girl boss should have to be unstoppable?
To be in a constant and continuous state of growth. Mm-hmm. Just constantly, you know, investing in your business, going to events, getting in front of the right people. Like I made this crazy decision 2 months ago where I was like, I'm going to go to an event every single month, which is totally nuts. And this is month 2, or next month will be month 3, and then January month 4. It's a lot of time away, but I just think I'm just like, okay, how can I fail faster? How can I make more connections more quickly? Like I want to be in the room where those high level people are hanging out. So I think, just to be in that constant state of growth and to be embracing the challenges there are always going to be challenges no matter what level you're at. So you might think, oh, well, when I hit 6 figures, like then everything will be normal. Like then everything will be good. And then you get there and you're like, oh, that's funny. Like I remember one of my friends reached out to me. She's like, so what does it feel like? Do you feel different? And I was like, no, I feel exactly the same. And then it's like, and then you get to the next level and it's like, oh wow, there's just different problems. It's not that you're coasting and there's nothing. It's just you're just evolving as a person.
Totally. I love that you said, how can I fail faster? Mm-hmm. Like I think so many entrepreneurs, like newbies, they're afraid of failure and they never get anything done.
Yeah.
Just like put it out there and start. It's never going to be perfect. So just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, even at the event that I was at this past week, it was a lot of people who hadn't yet launched an online course, and just the amount of people in the room who were like, yeah, I'm having major, I'm feeling like comparisonitis and I'm feeling like major imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to put out this course? Who am I to step forward and, claim this expertise? And, that's something I see so many people dealing with. And not that I thought it was just the health and wellness field, the people that I work with, but it was just, across the board, people who were doing clothing lines, people who were lawyers, like just everybody, we all feel that way. And I think once we realize like, you're not alone, everyone's going through the same things that you're going through, the same fears, the same stuff. I think you can kind of embrace that fear a little bit more and just be like, oh, okay, it's not going to be a failure. It's all an experiment. You're just constantly tweaking and changing. And I think it's like, I always say, give yourself permission to be a beginner.
Yep, always.
Yeah.
Cool. Tell us about the events you've been to so far. What's been your favorite?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I was just at BBD Live with James Wedmore, who I freaking love.
Yeah.
Mentors, he's amazing. Just getting to see him and his team and the way that they work together, I'm just like, okay, that's like serious goals. They just are freaking rock stars. Last month I was at Vid Summit, which was kind of like a YouTube event, which was really interesting because that's kind of something new that I've been stepping into a little bit more. And like, normally when, I'm sure you experience this too, you go to events and it's like a lot of people who are business. Like when I was at BBD Live, it was like all business coaches and a lot of people who were like in this world. But at Vid Summit, it was people who were like, oh yeah, I made like $1 million this year off of like making videos on YouTube about Nerf guns. I'm like, what? What?
Let's talk. Hold on. Yeah. So my dad, so I have a 4-year-old and he we don't let him watch the iPad all the time, but like those special times where he watches YouTube Kids and he watches Ryan's Toy Review, which is like this little kid who's literally all he does is open toys and plays with them. And TJ's like obsessed with it. My dad was looking into it. They make $1 million per month just from YouTube ads, not including affiliate deals or anything. So my dad is like, Rachel, you need to start a YouTube channel with TJ. And I'm like, oh, I don't have the time. Like,
yeah, it's insane. It's crazy. Yeah, it is nuts how much, with like YouTube ads, people like YouTube partners, the affiliate marketing stuff, and then like brand deals and sponsors within YouTube. Oh my God, people are making like, they'd be like, oh, can you review our product? We'll pay you $5,000 to like review this water bottle. Like, and guess what? You make that video once, you spend maybe, even if you're like, oh, video takes too long. Great. You spend a week making that video and that's like being so extra, like it would take you a day.
Right.
To like film it, edit it. And then you put it up there and then it lives forever. And one of my good friends, Sean Cannell, he's like, what's cool about YouTube is that once you rank it, and get it like the first thing that you search in the search engine, like you're number 1 in the world for that search term. Like that's pretty freaking cool. So that video just like keeps getting more play, gets more views. Like you just continue to monetize it. And it's like, and kind of what you do with Pinterest right now, which is like, oh my gosh, those are 2 like totally underused platforms.
So much.
Epic for residual income.
It's crazy. When I see entrepreneurs like spinning their wheels on Facebook and Instagram, I'm like, you're posting once and it disappears and nobody sees it. But like you put it on Pinterest, same thing with YouTube, like literally people are buying my stuff from stuff I did, like posts I did 2 years ago. It's crazy. So like I did, one of my blog posts has been repinned 80,000 times. And yeah. Which is crazy. And I decided to make a YouTube video for it using Sean Cannell's strategies because I've taken his YouTube course. And I think that was a month or two ago. It's already ranking #1 for the search term and it's gotten 10,000 views.
Wow.
I'm like, this stuff works. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
That video on Facebook, like I might get a couple of views on it. Like I'll probably with my Facebook page get like a couple thousand, but then it's gone. And then on YouTube, like it keeps working. It's such an underutilized platform, both of them.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, especially when they step into online, they don't have the strategy to do some of like the Pinterest stuff or the YouTube stuff. And so they just end up posting on Facebook and Instagram, doing what everyone else is doing or what they see on the front end, but they don't see all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes and the video tags and the strategy and the email marketing and just like all of that stuff. Like that's why like that person's getting 1 million likes on one thing and you've got 2.
Right.
And then they're like, why is mine not working? It's like there's more to the picture than what you're actually seeing on social media.
Yes. What has been like the best course you've taken or something that you've learned best?
Best course. That's a really tough question because I have loved pretty much like most of the courses that I've taken. Like Sean Cannell's course on YouTube is amazing. Like if you actually want to like have like in your hand like the strategy to crush it on YouTube like that. My buddy Zach Spuckler, he's got a killer Facebook ads program. There's so many people teaching Facebook ads and it's so bad because they're really wrong about, or they're just misinformed and they're teaching it incorrectly. And I've had so many students come to me like, oh, I did so-and-so's course and I like lost $5,000. And I'm like, oh my God, like what? Why would they tell, like that's super, no, you shouldn't have done that. So Zach's my go-to Facebook ads guy. I'm loving James Wedmore's program right now, Business by Design. That's kind of like next level stuff. I've done Shelley Johnson's programs, Brennan Burchard, like, you know, the gurus, the go-to people, but like they know their stuff. Like they've done it, they've lived it. And I'm just kind of a course junkie. Like, but I actually, like some people, they buy them and they don't go through, like I buy them and then I like absorb everything and like give me, like I'm just addicted to learning.
I know a lot of people will buy it and then they'll do like part of it and then never do it again and they don't implement anything. So you're someone that actually buys it and implements and takes action. So that's awesome.
I'm like the good student.
You are the good student. I love it. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Best piece of advice would be to just trust your gut. Like if it feels off, if it feels weird, don't do it. And I remember there was times when, you know, different sales strategies, quote unquote, were being taught. And I was like, this isn't me. Like, I really just don't want to do this. And I remember one of my friends, we were on a call and she was like, listen, what you're doing right now, you're doing pretty good. So I wouldn't stress about it. And if it doesn't feel good, just don't do it. And I guess in that moment, like I just needed that permission to kind of stand up for myself and say like, yeah, I could just do what I want to do. But I have to say my gut has never steered me wrong. When something felt off, when it felt weird, it was always right. So I think of all the things that someone can develop as an entrepreneur, if you can get really in touch with your intuition and make decisions not from your head, not from like, oh, is that going to be a good financial decision? Like do it from your gut and like you will always be exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yes. Cool. All right. So let's give everyone an idea of what it takes to run like a 6-figure business. So what does your team look like?
Yeah. So for up until a couple months ago, I had a business partner. So we kind of split a lot of the stuff and it was pretty much the two of us. And then we had an assistant who did all like the taxes, the bookkeeping, answered all of the emails, kind of dealt with any like, you know, because we had a good amount of students, like over 100 students, like every class. So she would kind of like people be like, oh, can I change my date of like when my payment's coming out? So she would kind of handle all that because we were like, we do not want to touch any of that stuff. Not a good use of our time. So then she did a lot of like the front end and marketing stuff. And then I did a good chunk of the front end marketing, but I also did like all of the back end. So like all of the techie stuff, landing pages, email marketing setup, creating the website. Like she would come in, do some of the copy. I did most of the, the course creation, actually creating the course and doing the coaching behind the scenes. And she kind of like, did like the Facebook group and a lot of the front end stuff. So kind of split it up that way. But I will say that being the jack of all trades for that was pretty exhausting. So I wouldn't recommend that to somebody, which, there's nothing you can really do in the beginning. Not nothing. I mean, you can outsource more quickly, but, until you're in a place where you are ready to expand your team and you're ready to make that decision, you are by yourself. So it's like, just understand that you're tired, you're overwhelmed, and you're stressed because you are doing 15 different roles. And you're not an expert in all of those roles. So that's why you're tired.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It can be exhausting, but I've had a virtual assistant, I think, for the past like 3 years at least, maybe 4. That has been one of the best investments I've ever made. That and a YouTube editor.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Game changing. Yeah, my podcast editor, that was like, took hours. Like I'm crazy. I edited like the first like 40 or 50 episodes. And when I actually like look back, I'm like, okay, if I had outsourced this sooner, I would have saved like something like over 50 hours, like probably more than that, double that, because it would take me at least 2 hours to do everything. Yep. And he handles like all the editing, uploading, all the show notes. I'm just like, I don't care. You do a great job.
Of course. Just take care of it.
Yeah. So now I have a podcast editor, kind of like somebody who's doing social media, chatting right now with a new VA to kind of take some of the other stuff off, and a video editor, and looking also now for like a podcast manager, like somebody to kind of like work on like the marketing and promotion of it. So the team's expanding.
Yeah, that's exciting. Awesome. So how are you currently using social media for your business? You talked about live video. What else are you doing?
Live video, Facebook groups is a big thing that I'm doing right now. Facebook ads, the podcast is kind of one of my big places. Instagram, and stepping more into YouTube and kind of taking all of my live video content and repurposing across social media platforms, and that's been working really well. So
awesome. So are you on Pinterest or no?
I'm not on Pinterest, but after talking to you the other day, I was like, okay, I need to get on some Pinterest. But I'm working on, I have a VA right now who's kind of working on like doing transcriptions and turning them into blog posts so that those will be there, and then we can kind of create like the Pinterest stuff to click back to it all.
It's just repurposing, like
yeah.
literally.
It's just something that someone else is gonna handle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have the content, so you just repurpose it, and then holy, like you'll get so much more traffic.
I'm so excited. I'm like so ready for that. I'm just like, okay, here I'm gonna just hand this off to all these people and watch it all unfold. It's all there. There's like, so many episodes, so it's like the content is done. It's just a matter of putting it all together. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If you do the things that I teach, I'm relaunching my course in December. If you do those things, like,
yeah. And it's funny. I've bought Pinterest courses, and those are the only ones that I've never really gotten into. I was just like, I never hang out on Pinterest. So that's why I never got into it. It was just like not one where I ever hung out. So I was like, how does this even work? What's a board?
No, I didn't either. It wasn't until like I had Google Analytics installed, and I actually like looked, and then I was like, where the heck are all these people coming from? And then it was Pinterest, and I'm like, there's thousands of people every month coming from Pinterest. I should probably figure this out. And when I started putting more attention there, like more people started to come, and then I'm like, all right, yeah. Yeah, so like I outsourced my Instagram to my mom now. Like she's really taking care of that for me, and I'm like, I'm just focused on Pinterest because like that's where everybody comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm starting to shift into kind of with like Instagram and Facebook, like still trying to honor the platforms, but almost using those more as distribution platforms for kind of like the podcast and YouTube and maybe even something like Pinterest, because I'm just like, those are to constantly be creating unique content for those platforms. It is a little bit exhausting. So I'm just. And the return is less than what you get on something that can kind of keep growing and evolving. So
exactly. Yes. Okay, so I have rapid fire questions for you. You ready?
Okay, super ready.
What do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur?
The creativity and just kind of being my own boss. I'm kind of unemployable at this point. So I'm just like, don't tell me what to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do and sleep in and live my life. And yeah, and I need to be creating. So
awesome. What is the most challenging part about being an entrepreneur?
Turning off. It's like my business is my baby. So being able to actually go out to eat and not think about my business, that is hands down the biggest challenge.
That's right. It's like you're working 40 hours a week at like a regular job, and then you work for yourself. You're working so much more, but it's for yourself.
Yeah. But I'm like obsessed with it, and I wouldn't have it any other way, to the point where my boyfriend's like, okay, he takes my computer. He's like, the office is now closed. The office is closed. I'm like, but I just want to do one. He's like, the office is closed. So I do it to myself. But yeah, that's stepping more into like learning how to just truly shut off and be okay with that, and just say like, could be fine. Like whoever reaches out or emails me, they're not going to die. They'll be good until I'll get to them tomorrow morning, 24 hours. Like we're good. So that's been a challenge, but
I hear you. What is one go-to resource or tool that allows you to be a high performer?
Kajabi. That is my fave. So if people don't know what Kajabi is, it's kind of where I host they have a beautiful membership site, area where you can just kind of create your own products and stuff and put in your videos and your PDFs and whatnot. And it's a really beautiful interface. And then they also have like landing page software, email marketing software, affiliate opportunity where you can kind of set people up as affiliates for your products. Yeah, like it's just kind of like a one-stop shop for entrepreneurs. Some of the stuff, like people are like, oh, well, Lead Pages is better, or, Infusionsoft is a better email marketing system. Like, sure, you can go ahead and integrate and connect all that stuff, but you're just starting and you don't want to deal with techie stuff and that's not your jam. Like Kajabi is the thing.
All right. Yeah. What is one piece of advice for someone looking to up-level their business and have a greater impact?
Invest in your business early, as quickly as possible. Get to events, take courses, find a legit business mentor and work with them, because you will spend, or you will waste so much time trying to DIY it, and there's no reason for that, because not only is there so much information out there already, but it can get overwhelming when you try to just consume everything on podcasts and YouTube. And I did that myself. So I'm not saying you can't get to a certain level that way. It's just going to take you a lot longer because you're getting it all in pieces. You're not getting the full picture and you're not getting it in the right order. So if you have somebody who's got a business model that's what you would like to create in the next couple of years, work with them. Find the money. It just depends. Like if you're ready to blow up and really like take things to the next level, I would say that's the best piece of advice.
Heck to the yes. All right. So to wrap up, why don't you tell everybody just what's latest and greatest right now in your business and where everyone can connect with you?
Yeah. So right now I am kind of stepping more into YouTube. So that's kind of what I'm launching out a little bit more of right now. You said where people can connect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I hang out a lot on Facebook, so you can connect with me there at Hey Jen Casey everywhere, on Instagram, all that. And then I also have a Facebook group, Intuitive Boss Babes, which is like a free group where you can come hang out, connect, do lots of like live free trainings and fun giveaways and stuff in there. So come connect with the tribe.
Awesome. Anything else you want to share? Last words?
Guys, if you are ready to step up in your business, just freaking go for it. I know it's such like blanket advice, but give yourself permission to be a beginner and just take messy action.
Heck yes. Girl, you are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And it was so awesome to get to know you a little bit more. Yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Rachel. And I love your energy. You're so awesome. And I can't wait to learn more about Pinterest from you.
Heck yes. Oh yes. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.